In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern. We do have plenty of activity on the way, both in terms of overall storminess, where we do have thunderstorms on the way. We have severe weather potentially on the way as well that we're going to discuss, and also more in terms of tropical activity. We did have tropical storm, I think it was called Alberto, the first one that hit central Mexico. We have two potential tropical cyclones that are now on the way, so we may get through names A, B, and C before we even enter into July, which would be obviously very crazy. And more potentially on the way after that. We're also going to have to talk about the very severe heat that is on the way for the weekend. Many folks talking about dealing with mid to upper 90s, even 100s in the feels like temperature especially. So it's going to be very crazy this weekend. I know that a lot of people will be outside as it is a summer weekend and it's going to be dangerously hot. So it needs to be discussed for sure. Let's just dive into things, and I want to take it day by day. So let's just discuss tomorrow, the first day of that very hot weekend on Saturday here, June 22nd. And you can see that we are dealing with a lot of thunderstorm activity across the northern portions of the nation especially. So we're talking about the kind of northern plains, upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and then here for the Northeast as well. We have thunderstorms around for these areas, and then around for the Southeast. So on top of these very hot conditions, we're also going to have dew points in the kind of low to mid 70s, which should allow for thunderstorms to be possible for pretty much everywhere, regardless of anything else. I mean, any dew points that high is going to basically provide a chance at thunderstorms developing, especially in the evenings of a lot of these hot days. So that is obviously pretty typical in the summertime. 70s for dew points is absolutely ridiculously humid. So that should just provide ample moisture for these storms to flourish in some cases. And we do see that taking place here for the Southeast, especially on this model. Let's just take this forward, and I want to take it towards Sunday, this second very hot day for a lot of the Southeast. And we do see that there is plenty of these thunderstorms taking place both for the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, up the Mid-Atlantic, and even into the Northeast here. And then along the Southeast coast here as well, we are seeing areas in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina here dealing with these isolated and scattered about thunderstorms taking place, even the Gulf Coast as well, which shouldn't come as a surprise. Again, these are areas that see thunderstorms almost every single day this time of year, so I'm definitely not surprised, and for the folks that live there, I'm sure they're not either. Let's take this towards Monday here. This one will also be a very hot day. We're actually increasing the eastern seaboard chance of thunderstorms, especially here for Florida, Georgia a little bit, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, the Delmarva, up through Pennsylvania, New Jersey, even southern New England here, and even northern New England as well, dealing with these potential thunderstorms. So up and down the East Coast, really for the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic here especially, we're seeing a big uptick in the precipitation chances for the afternoon of Monday on the 24th. Let's just keep going. I want to take this to Tuesday on June 25th, and we see that this low, this weak low that was here has kind of moved offshore. We're not really seeing too much in terms of activity due to this. We do see that there is just overall a returned chance of thunderstorms along, again, the Gulf and Southeast coast, which is very, very common. We do see that for the Midwest and Plains. We see some isolated and scattered about thunderstorms for Tuesday here. Let's keep this going. I want to take us towards Wednesday on the 26th. And we can see that there is a lot of thunderstorm activity taking place in the eastern states once again. So activity overall is going to be on the uptick. The main reason why I uploaded a lot of long range videos recently, like the fall time and wintertime videos, is because there was such a lull in activity for a lot of these folks, where a lot of my viewers are located, and there wasn't anything to really discuss or make videos about. So I felt that it was a perfect time to make these long range videos. But now, you know, speaking today on Friday, June 21st, when I'm filming this, I do see that return of activity in sight, and that's why I decided to kind of reel it back in and start making these typical videos a little bit again. Keep in mind, we do have more long-range videos planned for the near future, so be on the lookout for those, but we want to mix these in as well, of course, as always. Thursday the 27th, we see, again, more activity for the eastern seaboard, not leaving anytime soon, and we actually get our fair share out west as well for a lot of the Northwest, the Rocky Mountain range as well, seeing these thunderstorms ongoing for these areas on Thursday. Friday on June 28th here, again, the West is kind of the main story here as we have a 992 up there over southern Canada, and then a 997 over the plains. We would be watching for potential northern plains and upper Midwest severe weather. If this occurred this way, I think that this pocket would be definitely an area to watch. Let's move this towards Saturday on the 29th. We get a little bit quieter here. I would say a couple thunderstorms around for the Midwest, and then for the Southeast as well is the theme. Let's keep going towards Sunday on the 30th, and now we're starting to get a little bit more activity going as we have a pretty strong cold front here for June 30th, as you can see, diving southward for a lot of the plains, Ohio Valley, and even northeast there. And then as we reach towards Monday on July 1st, more strong thunderstorms around for the southeast and even the mid-Atlantic there, as well as maybe southern New England as a result of this cold front swinging through. Let's take a look here at the total precipitation, and as you can see for the Midwest, through the Great Lakes and even into the Northeast, we have an above average amount of activity expected for all of these areas. Same story for the Southeast here in particular. We do have this kind of massive uptick, especially compared to the previous week of activity expected. A little bit of a drier spot there in between. I do suspect that that'll likely just kind of fill out on a lot of these models over time, as we likely see just overall activity returning in the entirety of the East, in my opinion. As we take a look at our kind of long-range European AI model, I want to take us beyond hours 240, which is where this model ends. So take us beyond that point here and see what we can see. We do see, again, that eastern region really just being the most active area, even through July 6th here. We can see that the northern states are getting more activity once again, and then for areas of the southeast and mid-Atlantic, another system offshore. So we are seeing more and more activity on the uptick here for these areas. For the temperature pattern overall, and we will look at the severe weather in tropics again, like I mentioned, in just a moment. But we do see this very warm weekend ahead, so that is these reds here, reds and oranges over the eastern states. Very warm out west as well, is worth mentioning. But for kind of the medium range, as we head towards later on next week, we can see Thursday things are really cooling down here in the east, even Friday, Saturday. But by the time we reach Saturday, Sunday here, we do see this next kind of uptick in the warm temperatures for the East Coast. So we're going to be watching potentially for that. Thankfully, we get a swinging cold front after that. We did see that on the European model, and that does bring kind of a refreshing, cooler air mass back into place for a lot of these Midwest and Eastern areas for that following early week portion for July 1st, 2nd, 3rd here perhaps. We could see that next little cool down. But as we get to the 5th of July and beyond, this long-range model is indicating that we might be seeing our next lineup of heat waves, unfortunately, for a lot of the central and eastern states. That's definitely going to be something to watch for. This cooler air mass on the west really implies this as well, the warming trend over the central and eastern states. For severe weather, here's the day one outlook for the rest of today on Friday the 21st. We do have in the lighter greens a general thunderstorm risk. Keep in mind severe weather can occur, it's just not expected. In the darker green areas, we have a level 1 marginal risk where we expect isolated severe weather to occur. For your two yellow areas there, we have a level 2 slight risk of severe weather where we do expect scattered about severe weather to potentially occur. For day 2 on Saturday, June 22nd, we have our 3 general thunderstorm risk areas in the lighter greens, our 3 marginal risk areas in the darker greens, and then your singular level 2 slight risk there over the Midwest. For day 3 on Sunday, June 23rd, we do kind of return to a marginal risk of severe weather across a lot of your Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast areas. So those threats are becoming more east-based over kind of the longer term. Let's take a look at the 2-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And as you can see, we do expect there to be 2 areas of potential development. One, as of now, has a 60% chance of development off the east coast of Florida and Georgia there. So for the southeast coast, this is posing a threat. For areas just to the west of the Yucatan Peninsula and the very far southern Gulf of Mexico, we do have a 50% chance of development over the next 2 days. So again, 60% over the next 2 days and then 50% over the next 2 days. Certainly very elevated chances. Both of these are a flip of a coin or better at developing. So odds are at this point that we will at least get our B storm out of one or the other. And potentially even the C storm, which I don't know how, if that's ever happened in June, honestly, to see the 3rd storm come out. It probably has, but I feel like that is definitely far exceeding the average, obviously. For the 7-day outlook, which gets us a little more time, we can see that this one stays at a 60% off the East Coast, but this Southern Gulf one actually gets upgraded to a 60% as well. So both of them are better than 50-50 odds at developing over the next 7 days. Absolutely crazy stuff, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe, as we will be uploading, as always, every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload, so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.